All right, folks, this video is going to continue with our transition from Fusion 360 into Onshape. So go ahead and open up your Onshape. You will see also a folder down here that says your name practice. Go ahead and click on that so that you are looking at that you're in Center High School and you are in your practice folder and you're seeing the things that you have already created in here. Let's go to the Sketch Plane Cube document. Open that so you should see that you're in the Sketch Plane Cube. You're looking at the part that you made. If you didn't do this already, let's go down to Part Studio 1 that contains your Sketch Plane Cube. Let's rename the Part Studio as, let's just call it SPC for Sketch Plane Cube. Okay. And then let's go up here to where the document's titled, and let's call that just like you would title a Google Doc. And let's add to the end of it Sketch Plane Cube, and let's just put etc. in there. We're going to add a couple other things in there. So hit enter. Okay, we're going to add a Part Studio by clicking on this little plus button down there and create a Part Studio. Let's go ahead and before we do anything, let's rename this Part Studio and call it crank. We're going to make a crank just like we did before, but now using Onshape. So let's go ahead and learn what we already have done or put our learning into practice. We're going to click on the front plane sketch, front plane. Remember that the P gets rid of the extra planes that we don't need to see, and N for normal brings it perpendicular to our vision. And let's go ahead and build this little crank. We're going to go through pretty quickly. You can slow this video down or pause if you need to. Remember, we always want to try and hook up to the center point first. So while that's got that little square in there, we're going to click. I click the circle command, click that, drag out a little bit, click again. Let's go ahead and make that 1 inch. 1, enter. Should be black. Should show you a 1 inch diameter. Now, your blue square might look different than mine does. I can't do anything about that. Just know that if you're in inches and you made it an inch, you did it right. All right, now let's make another circle. I'm still in the command, just like Fusion. That command will stay on until you hit escape. Hover over that center point, drag out while you've got that little line. Let's click, pull, and click again. And we're going to make that 0.375 over here. Now it's blue because it can be moved around. I'm hitting escape to get out of the command. I don't know why it's not getting out of the command. Let's undo. Whoops. That. There we go. I did escape a few times. Now this is going to be able to move around. I can't really move it up and down because it's locked horizontally to this point, or should be. If you could move it up and down, then you need to make a horizontal constraint between this point and that point. Notice that hovering over those will tell you what those things are constrained to. Let's go ahead and hit D for dimension and dimension from the two center points and make those, how about 1.25, 1 1/4 inches. That looks good. Okay, and now we're going to do the same thing we did before. We're going to make some lines that are coincident. I'm going to click it, I don't know, a little bit to the right of the center point, a little bit right over here. Now, what I would hope is that that tangent, see that little tangent symbol that shows up? I'm going to click on that. Now, here's how I know it's tangent. If I hover over that, it'll show me that it's tangent. And unfortunately, I don't know where. Oh, yeah, I do. If I hover over that, it'll tell me that this line is tangent to that circle. If that's not there, you want to go ahead and do that. We'll do this to the other side, tangent. Click, click. We'll make that tangent. Now, if I try and do that again, click, click, it's probably going to turn red. Well, no, it'll just apply it again. Let me try that one more time, see if I can get it to make a mistake. Let's try a tangent there to there. No, it just reapplies the same one. Okay. I don't know why I'm having my escape button isn't working. I'm having to right click and hit escape. All right, we'll do this again. Bottom, make a line on the bottom, click. Again, look for that tangent constraint, click, and then escape. And again, we will apply the tangent constraint here and here. Okay. So if I hover over this line after I hit escape, I hover over this line, it should show me those two tangent constraints that are locked to that line. All right, let's go ahead and extrude some of these things. We'll finish the sketch, and we're going to extrude this and that. Let's go to 0.25 for that. Whoops, I don't know what happened. I double clicked on this extrude because I don't know why it didn't go to 0.25. Remember, enter once will get you a preview. Enter twice will put that in there. Now, the sketch is gone, but I can turn it back on to be able to use it again with the little eyeball. Let's extrude this to, let's do 0.5. I know that's a little short, but we're going to deal with that in just a minute. Cool. All right, I can turn off the sketch again if I want to. Let's go ahead and make the hole in here. Since I've already got a point, let's use the hole command. And we will, it doesn't use the origin point. Maybe I can click on the origin point. Nope, doesn't like that. Okay, I'm going to have to click on a different point. So let's sketch on this surface. Now, new thing, let's go ahead and project this point up onto this surface by using the use command. Okay, use is the same thing as project. So notice when I click on that, it projected that up there. You can go ahead and get out of the sketch. Now let's make the hole on that point. And remember, it is the hole that we made prior was 5/16. Enter for a preview, enter again to put that hole in there. We did make it all the way through. If I didn't, I can go back and double click on that and make sure I did. Okay, did I go? What size did I go? My termination was through all. That's where I wanted it to go. Okay, good. All right. Now, finally, we're going to make those little jaggedy edges in here. So let's go ahead and sketch again on this surface. And for normal, gets us to look at this straight. Now we're just going to draw a couple little lines. Don't use this line here like this time. We're going to click to the left of that. Now I want that middle point to line up with that. Now, unlike Fusion, that really does make a constraint. It's not just a guide. So if you look at this point, and again, I need to escape. If I look at this point, it will show me that it has a horizontal constraint to that point. Now I'm going to use the equal constraint to make these two equal size. Okay. That way, no matter what I do, it will stay equal to each other. All right, just make it look approximately like that. We don't need to make a dimension. We'll finish sketch. Now there's two different things that we can do. We can create let's go back into this sketch. We could take these two lines in here while we're in the sketch, and we can make a circular pattern out of those, okay, if we wanted to. Right now there are three. Now this looks a little different because it's going to ask you, okay, how far do you want to go? Whoops, I meant to make two of those. Right now there's three, but I can change that to, say, 5. Okay, and we could do this in the sketch. That's not the way I'm going to do it this time. I'm going to get out of this sketch. Okay, and instead we're going to extrude that little shape right there. Now I'm going the wrong way, so I can flip it. Now, again, I could determine the edge, or we can go, instead of blind, I'm going to go up to next or up to face. Let's go up to face, and we're going to go to this face. And that way it's going to go the right way. Okay, now, little thing about patterns here. We're going to go create a circular pattern. And this, again, is a little different. Do I want something new or do I want to add? I think I want to add these parts to the existing part. I don't want new things. I want to add. Now, this is where things get confusing. The default is part pattern. We're not going to pattern a part. We're going to pattern this feature within the part. So you do need to change it to a feature pattern. And it says, oh, what feature do you want? Well, I want this extrude. Click on that, okay? Now remember, red wants you to pick it here and then pick it somewhere on the part. So we're going to say, oh, I want to do the axis of the pattern as this cylinder. Ooh, it gave me red. What do I do when there's red, folks? Red means undo, okay? I must have chosen the wrong thing. I can either undo what I'm doing and try again, or I can say, oh, I didn't mean to click that. Let's try this again. Let's make sure I've got a feature pattern. Extrude 3 is what I wanted. Okay, let's make sure that's what I wanted. Okay. Try that again. Now right here, it's showing me there was a bad circular pattern. Let's get rid of that. I don't like things that are red over here in the browser because those are things that shouldn't be there. All right, let's try this again. Circular pattern. I want a feature pattern. The feature I want to pattern is extrude number 3. The axis of that is going to be, this time I'll choose out here. Okay. Boy, it still wants me to, let me unclick equal spacing, see if that happens. Let's try centered, just play around with it a little bit. I don't know why it's not liking this, but sometimes we learn more from failure than we do, so I'm going to keep this video going. Let me see if I can make a work axis. Remember, just like you, I'm going to have to poke around. I'm not going to give up. I'm going to make it work the way I want it to work. All right, figured it out. So for whatever reason, if you hit reapply features, then it will go ahead and do that. So let's make like, I don't know, 12 looks about right. And we've got our star-shaped pattern. All right, so again, folks, you kind of have to just play around with it. I actually Googled it and took a look. All right, and finally, last thing is that this seems a little unnecessarily big. So let's go back to our original sketch that we made, sketch 1, and let's make this 0.75. Okay. Now, ooh, that made this a little bit smaller too. I'm not sure why. You probably made that a certain size. I'm going to dimension that. D for dimension. And call it 0.375. I think yours probably already looks like that. I'm not sure why mine didn't. Okay, check mark. Okay, that looks a little bit better. And finally, this is a little bit short. So instead of going and changing the extrusion, let's use our thicken, which was press pull in other programs. And just click on that face and just say, oh, I want to thicken it by a certain amount. Okay. And you can play around with it. Let's try 0.5. Enter will give you a preview. Enter to change that. All right, cool, folks. Let's go ahead and kind of move this over by your browser. Get a picture of your browser along with this. Turn it in. We'll do a couple more little things and then be done making the transition. Good job. Catch you next time.